sector. 85% of the companies that I mentioned were locally funded. Just to give you an idea, the medium wage for a software developer here is around 73K Canadian dollar. And our companies here had some success. They have success here. So here is here are some examples from 2021. So just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, not that long ago. And you can see Collab, Misa, or Swiftsure that were able to raise millions of dollars. We are also proud that we had the biggest deal in our province, the biggest deal in North America. Nasdaq bought Verafin for $2.75 billion US dollar. Verafin is a company in cybersecurity. And more recently, just this year, actually, two of the companies, Spellbook and Trophy AI, raises like millions. Spellbook raises 10 million and Trophy AI is 3 million. So it's a great future for these companies and our province as well, with a lot of hiring and success to come, success stories to come. More to come for sure. Oh, sorry. So the skills in demand, we have non-technical job. It's not just technical. We have non-technical position as well. We need people that will have skills in sales and marketing, business development, customer success, executive staff, but that also have technical skills. So these are non-technical positions, but it would be great. Like you will be our top priority if you have technical skills as well that you can use for your position in sales and marketing or business development, customer success. And of course, we have also like technical position like data scientists, engineers, software developers, and game developers as well. We need some here. And where you can find the job position. So of course you will see them on Indeed, Career Beacon, or LinkedIn, the most common. But we also have a job board. So if you go to our website, www.tcanal.ca, we have a job board where we post all the job opportunities from our members. Well, most of them, not all of them. It's hard to have every job offer. But it can give you a good idea for sure of the kind of position that are available right now in our province. And for example, here, this is a snapshot from September 2023. So you can see the kind of position that companies were hiring for. We have IT manager, software developer, but also marketing, designer, product designer, graphic artist. Here in our province, what we offer, this is what we can offer as a province. So the home ownership is still affordable. We have beautiful ocean views. The short commute, so it's very accessible. Like everything is accessible within 15 minutes, which is great. Like we don't have any traffic. and the outdoor is amazing. It's beautiful. It's breathtaking. If you like hiking, we have a lot of hiking trails available around the city, but in the province overall, like in the West Coast or in the central region. It's a beautiful province, and we also have a collaborative community. So now I want to show you a video so that you can see what it here in our province. So let's watch.
Where does innovation find its spark? Here, it's in the knowledge, skills, and the innate creativity of its people. There's a rare quality to this rocky land at the edge of North America, and it's calling. Inspiring passion, community, and ingenuity in each other. It's the perfect recipe for innovation. Newfoundland and Labrador is in the midst of a technological leap forward. From a spirited past comes an ambitious future, powered by innovation and bright minds. Each discovery fueled by hard work and curiosity. At your head, sprawling playground awaits, where the forces of nature and creativity collide. In an endless well of potential, where will you find your spark?
So I hope you liked it. Please.
Hi, I'm Brittany, and I will be presenting today from Newfoundland and Labrador Health Services. My agenda today will cover the following: introduction of our health system, overview of each of the zones within our health system, opportunities we have for internationally educated nurses, compensation if you are awarded a position with us, total rewards, what we have to offer, and how to apply. Newfoundland and Labrador Health Services is Newfoundland and Labrador's integrated and full-service health system. We launched on April 1st, 2023. We serve over 500,000 residents of our province. We combined our 4 former regional health authorities to one system to deliver health services to people across the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. As mentioned in my previous slide, we are divvied up into zones. Lac Grenville is located in green on the map. It covers the province, the section of the province Labrador and the northern peninsula of Newfoundland. Western zone is located in blue on the map, and it covers up to Port Abbas, southeast to Francois, northeast to Bartlett's Harbor, and on the eastern boundary, north to Jackson's Arm. Central zone is located in yellow, from Charlottetown in the east, Bogo Island in the north, Harbor Breton in the south, to Beta Verte in the west. Eastern zone is divvied up into two separate zones, pink zone and in the red here. It's the pink is the rural part of the eastern zone, and the red is the urban area of the eastern zone. Although it's the smallest geographic area for our zones, it covers the majority of our population. Currently, Newfoundland and Labrador Health Services are seeking internationally educated nurses to come to work with one of the zones to work as a personal care attendant. Personal care attendants are a valued member of our interprofessional team in long-term care. They are responsible for providing support to residents in all aspects of daily living through companionship, physical, spiritual, and psychosocial care. This includes, but not limited to, performing duties related to all aspects of residents' personal needs, such as nutrition, personal hygiene, and mobility. Assisting with planning and providing various recreational activities, supporting families and residents for end-of-life issues, and escorting residents. Duties are performed under the direction of the registered nurse or licensed practical nurse, in keeping with the philosophy of resident-centered care in our province. The base compensation for a personal care attendant is $22.41 per hour. This would be a unionized position. If you are successful in being awarded a position with us, you would either be placed in the NAPE Hospital Support Collective Agreement or the QV Hospital Support Collective Agreement, depending on the zone you are working. Total rewards. What are the reasons to work with NLHS? Career growth and development. For full-time employees, we offer a registered pension plan. We also have other pension plans for part-time employees. We have health and dental benefits, life insurance policy, accidental death insurance, and critical illness, long-term disability. We have different types of paid leave, such as annual leave, sick leave, and family leave in accordance to your collective agreement. We pay overtime, shift, and weekend premiums, again, in accordance to the collective agreement. And we are in the process of building a work environment which includes work-life balance, diversity, collaboration, and respect. So join our team for NLHS. Every day has the potential to be extraordinary in Newfoundland and Labrador. Put your skills to good use in a unique and remarkable part of the world. Whether you are in one of our urban centers, rural towns, coastal and inland communities, or working in a remote location, you can make a difference and grow your career here. Successful candidates join a highly capable province-wide team on the eastern edge of Canada. So as mentioned, we are new to being one health system. Therefore, we've included a link here for each of the zones and their job application boards. So specifically for this opportunity, we've provided next steps in terms of how to apply. So you would need to apply online, and I have included the direct link to apply to our website. So you would have to click on this link. Once you're on the link, you would need to select hospital support under the categories. And under hospital support, you would find a competition for IEN personal care attendant. Once you have successfully applied, you would need to create an account and submit your resume. If you are selected for an interview, we would have to look at your credentials, complete an interview, and check references. If you are successful and we offer you a position, then we would move towards the onboarding stage. So during the onboarding stage, there would be documents to collect, such as criminal record checks. We would ask you to do some e-learning, and we would get some employee health clearance. If you are successful at being selected for a position with us, once the onboarding process would be over and you have everything met in terms of your pre-employment documents, then you would begin your career with us. So that's all I have to share today. We've also included the QR code, and if you want to scan the QR code, it links to our NL Health Services website. So thank you all for your time, and I hope you have a great day.
Apply directly with the company, and you have to follow up directly with the company as well. Cool. Well,
so I just posted your LinkedIn. You folks also have a pin to a website for TechNL for a job searches through the TechNL. So any specific information, you guys can also look through their information through their website. And you also have the LinkedIn of Megan, just in case if you would like to, I don't know, have a specific question with her. And up to you, Megan, if you have anything else to add.
No, not really. I'll just say that I know that there's a lot of people in the queue for the chat, and it's only kind of letting us talk to one person at a time. So if you weren't able to get through, I apologize about that, but I will be spending the next little while going through emails to get back to everybody. So so don't panic or anything. I will get back to you. I just over email. And so thanks everyone for your patience and for your interest, and for showing up. And just see if there's anything else that, yeah, someone asked again for the email, so I'll just type it. Yeah, and people, yeah, mostly asking about the job roles. So yeah, again, software development, C++, C Sharp, C++, those are the ones that we're seeing the most, front end and back end. We occasionally see IT. We occasionally see marketing and sales. And engineering, all sorts of stuff. Trying to think of which companies I know for sure are hiring outside of the country. I believe Vision 33 hires outside of the country. Verifin as well is probably the largest tech company in the province, and they have a more robust HR department. So that is a good one to check as well. But I think that's it from me, George.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, folks, for coming in for our session today. Thank you, Megan, for your wonderful presentation. And again, any specific questions or any specific information that you would like to know, the links are available in a chat, so please refer to that. Megan also gave you her email, and there's LinkedIn also available if you want to have a more specific conversation. And in case of both, please, folks, be patient about it. There's a very big queue, but everyone will be listened to and everyone will be taken care of. Just have a patience and your time will come to it. But yet again, thank you so much for coming today, and you have an amazing day or amazing night.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, thank you everyone so much. And yeah, have a great, I hope you all get something out of the fair, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And Megan, there's a button in the right corner. You can end this session.
and thank you for joining me in the presentation today about our provincial pathways to immigration in Newfoundland and Labrador. My name is Sophia Solomon, and I'm an Immigration Program Development Officer with the Office of Immigration and Multiculturalism with the Department of Immigration, Population Growth and Skills in the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador. We administer provincial immigration programs and provide information to potential applicants on ways they can immigrate to Newfoundland and Labrador. The Office of Immigration and Multiculturalism offers 2 economic immigration programs that facilitate a pathway to permanent residency. The first is the Newfoundland and Labrador Provincial Nominee Program, or the NLPNP. Under this program, we have skilled worker, international graduate, express entry skilled worker, international entrepreneur, and international graduate entrepreneur categories. The Atlantic Immigration Program, also known as AIP, has categories based on the tier level of the job offer that you receive. So that is Tier 0, Tier 1, Tier 2, 3, and Tier 4. The National Occupation Classification is now moved to a NOC 2021 version, and there are some changes due to this on the NLPNP and the AIP, where some positions have become eligible and others have become ineligible. So the 2016 NOC skill level structure, which was NOC 0A, B, C, and D, is now replaced by a 6-category system called tier categories. That's for training, education, experience, and responsibilities that's required to work in an occupation. So now it is Tier 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the NOC skill level will be called tier category. So the 4-digit codes are now 5-digit codes, and some occupations may change to a different tier category in this new system. This is what the NOC 2021 tier categories look like. So Tier 0 is management occupations. Tier 1, occupations that usually require a university degree. Tier 2, occupations that usually require a college diploma, apprenticeship training of 2 or more years, or supervisory occupations. Tier 3 is occupations that usually require a college diploma, apprenticeship training of less than 2 years or more than 6 years of on-the-job training. Tier 4 is for occupations that usually require a high school diploma or several weeks of on-the-job training. And Tier 5 is occupations that usually need short-term work demonstration and no formal education. So what is the Newfoundland and Labrador Provincial Nominee Program, or the NLPNP? It's an economic immigration program designed to assist international workers and skilled immigrants and their families to live and work in Newfoundland and Labrador. Applicants must meet certain criteria, which includes having a full-time job offer from a Newfoundland and Labrador employer or be an entrepreneur. Meet the eligibility requirements, intend to live in the province permanently, have enough savings to establish yourself and your family in the province, and possess English or French language capabilities to perform the job duties. So we're going to dive into the express entry skilled worker category, which requires a job offer that is full-time, falls under Tier 0, 1, 2, or 3, and at least 1 year with the possibility of extension at the time of the application. So you do require 1 year of previous work experience in Tier 0, 1, 2, or 3, which must be obtained over 12 months, and work experience while a full-time student in Canada does not count. However, work experience outside of Canada in your home country does count. All applicants must have a valid profile in IRCC's Express Entry pool before the application to our office. Canadian post-secondary degree or diploma or an ECA must be shown. You must have a valid work permit or a JVA, which is a job vacancy assessment that your employer will require you to get if you don't have a work permit, or a postgraduate work permit. You must intend to reside in the province permanently. You must score a minimum of 67 over 100 on our PNP point assessment grid for Express Entry. Language testing is required for the stream, but there is no PNP processing fee. You're looking at a PR processing time of 8 months with the federal government and 25 business days with our office, and this application is submitted online. Next is the skilled worker category. You would need a full-time job offer at a tier level between 0 to 5, so essentially any level. It should be at least a 1-year contract with the possibility of extension at the time of application. You would again need to have a valid work permit or JVA and intend to reside in the province permanently. Language testing is required for tier 4 and 5 occupations with the CLB4 that is a minimum requirement in each testing category. There is no provincial processing fee, and the processing time with the federal government is 16 months, and the application is submitted online. However, postgraduate work permit holders are not eligible for the stream. You could apply through the express entry category or the international graduate category, which we're going to talk about now. So for the international graduate category, the job offer requires to be full-time in tier 0, 1, 2, or 3. If it's a tier 4, only in-demand occupations are accepted. The contract has to be at least 1 year with the possibility of extension at time of the application. You must meet knockout employment requirements and have a Canadian post-secondary degree or diploma. Intend to reside in the province permanently and show sufficient settlement funds. A postgraduate work permit is required. Language testing for tier 4 in-demand occupations only, and minimum CLB4 in each testing category. If you're a MUN or CNA graduate, and if you're not working in your field of study, you must be working in an occupation where the NOC code requires post-secondary degree. If you're a graduate from another province, you must work in your field of study in the province for 1 year prior to applying to the NLPNP. There is no processing time. There is no processing fee for this category. The processing time is 16 months again, and the application is submitted online. Next, we'll talk about the business immigration categories. We have international entrepreneur and international graduate entrepreneur. So the international entrepreneur, you need to be ages 21 to 59, provide business plan with supporting financial documentations, verified by a recognized professional third-party service, have a minimum Canadian high school diploma or an ECA, intend to permanently reside in the province while owning and actively managing a local business that has potential to create significant economic benefit to Newfoundland and Labrador. You must show $600,000 in unencumbered net business and personal assets that can be readily transferred to Canada, and be able to invest $200,000 to establish a business in Newfoundland with a minimum 33.3% ownership of $1 million equity investment. You must show you're able to hire locally and in positions relative to the business, and the business should be for a for-profit entity with the primary purpose of earning profits through sales of goods and services. You must show minimum 2 years of work experience actively managing and owning a business in the last 5 years, or 5+ years experience in senior business management in the last 10 years. Language testing is required, and you need to show minimum CLB5. For international graduate entrepreneur, you need to be at least 21 years of age, provide a business continuity plan with supporting financial documentation recognized by professional third-party service, complete a degree or diploma at MUN or CNA within the past 2 years, hold a postgraduate work permit, intend to permanently reside in the province again, same as the international entrepreneur. The main difference is the investment, where there is no investment required. And again, the stability is the same as the international entrepreneur. And for the work experience, you need to show minimum 1 year of continuous experience in actively managing and owning the business with a 33.33% minimum ownership. Language testing is required, and we need a minimum CLB7. So that was the NLPNP. Now we're going to talk about the Atlantic Immigration Program, or the AIP. The AIP is an employer-based program that helps employers in addressing skill gaps and labor market needs. This new program was launched due to the success of the pilot program. So the employers must first apply to become designated. So the workers would need to wait until the employer is approved. There is higher engagement and settlement and integration by the employers. It has faster processing time. So if you're already working in the province as a temporary resident, you could qualify to become a permanent resident, and low labor market impact assessment is required. We are now only accepting applications online for the AIP, so employers must submit their applications through the AIP Immigration Accelerator portal. The first step is designation. So employers must download the application and indicate the job title, prevailing wage, NOC code, tier category, and number of positions required. Positions must be year-round full-time. Business must be in continuous active operation for the previous 2 years. Once they are designated, an endorsement application can be prepared and submitted. The foreign national will contact the service providing organization and request a need assessment to get a settlement plan. So once you have this and you have the settlement plan, the employer can fill out the endorsement application and identify the tier category of the job offer and the position description. Employers must ensure that the candidates have all their supporting documentation for the permanent residency, including language testing and education credential assessment. So once the employer is designated, they can then submit the endorsement application for you. And now we're going to talk about the different categories under the AIP. So as you can see, it's based on the job offer tier that you receive. So for the tier 0 job offer, you need a 1-year work experience in the tier category of 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the past 5 years and meet NOC employment requirements. The job offer has to be the same skill level or higher than your work experience. So it needs to be a full-time job offer in tier 0 occupation for at least 1 year from the time we receive your application. We need a minimum Canadian 1-year post-secondary certificate, diploma, or degree, or an ECA to show the same. And language testing is required with the CLB 5. And the employers need to be designated under the AIP and show recruitment efforts. If they're applying for you and you don't have a work permit, they would need to show how they could not fill the position locally. So for the tier 1 job offer, needs to be work experience in tier 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the past 5 years and meet NOC employment requirements. Job offer has to be in tier 1, again for a duration of 1 year from the time we receive the application, and the education requirement is the same as the tier 0, as well as the language testing and the employer as well. So that would be the same. For tier 2 and 3, it's a little different. So the work experience has to be for 1 year in a tier 2, 3, or 4 occupation in the past 5 years and meet NOC employment requirements. Full-time job offer in tier 2 or 3. And the education is where there's a difference, where we just need a minimum Canadian secondary certificate, diploma, or degree, or an ECA to show the same. However, language testing and the employment requirements remain the same. For tier 4, again, 1 year work experience in tier 4 occupation. There is an exemption in place for the healthcare sector, which means that, like I mentioned before, then the job offer has to be the same skill level or higher. So if you're in the healthcare sector and the job offer is at a lower skill level, then we can accept that. However, it does need to be a full-time permanent job offer in tier 4 occupation. Education is the same as the tier 2, 3 job offer with just a minimum of secondary certificate, degree or diploma, or an ECA to show the same. Language testing is a bit different, where we just need a CLB 4, and the employment requirements is the same. If you can see, there's an asterisk in the bottom right-hand corner, as well as in the work experience column, which says that it's not required for international graduate from Atlantic Canada. So this only is for those international graduate who completed a minimum 2-year program from a recognized post-secondary institution. They would not require to show work experience. However, if you're applying from outside Canada and haven't studied in the Atlantic provinces, then you would need to show that 1 year experience, irrespective of the category, like we spoke about. So that was the AIP and the PNP. So we'll just do a bit of a comparison here to give you an understanding of the differences between the two programs. So that would help you in deciding which program you want to apply through. With the PNP, we accept job offers based on the category. So there's express entry, skilled worker, and international graduate, whereas the AIP, the category is based on the job offer itself. So there's tier 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. NLP&P, their labor marking must be completed by the employer prior to the candidate applying. So the employer will need to have the JVA for you before you apply, and it's only required if you don't have a work permit or authorization to work. AIP labor market testing is required in the endorsement application, again, if you do not have a work permit, and that is done at the designation state. But also the employer will need to show their recruitment efforts at the endorsement stage. For PNP and ECA is only required for express entry applicants if they do not have a Canadian education, whereas AIP ECA is required irrespective of the category. Language testing is required based on the category and knock of the job offer for PNP, whereas AIP language testing is required for all candidates. PNP candidates must meet knockout employment requirements, which is the same for AIP. PNP and AIP, there is no processing fees provincially for the employer or candidates. And processing time for PNP varies from 8 to 16 months, depending on the category, whereas AIP, you're looking at approximately 6 months. So we now know that having a job is important, irrespective of which program you apply through. So here's some resources where you can find a job. First is the Canada Job Bank. So you can create a profile and be matched with employers in the region. So you can, search for jobs in Newfoundland and Labrador and apply to those jobs. You can also apply to our jobs in provincial government if you go to our website and create a profile there. And other methods are networking with employers, so hopefully you've done that today, and that's been helpful, but also continue searching on private job search websites like Career Beacon and Indeed, and also participate in upcoming fairs like you did today, so keep an eye out for other fairs as well. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope this information was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at immigration@gov.nl.ca for AIP questions and pnp@gov.nl.ca for PNP questions. You can also find all this information on our website there. I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have, but if we don't or are not able to get to them, please feel free to send us an email. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session. My name is Melisande Alric. I'm the immigration lead for TechNL, and I will be talking about the tech sector, of course, in our province. That's why you are here, I guess. So let's start. So first, a bit about us. TechNL is a nonprofit. We are representing the technology and the innovation sector here in our province for over 30 years now. And our team is there to bridge the gap. So the tech sector is fast growing, and we are going to need more and more people to fill this position. So our goal is to attract and retain highly skilled workers and to connect job seekers with employers when there is job opportunities for our members. Here you can see some of our members. There are quite a few. We have, in our province, we have over 100 pure tech companies. As I mentioned, this is a fast-growing sector. 85% of the companies that I mentioned were locally funded. Just to give you an idea, the median wage for a software developer here is around 73K Canadian dollar. And our companies here had some success. They have success here. So here is here are some examples from 2021. So just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, not that long ago. And you can see Collab, Misa, or Swiftsure that were able to raise millions of dollars. We are also proud that we had the biggest deal in our province, the biggest deal in North America. Nasdaq bought Verafin for $2.75 billion US dollar. Verafin is a company in cybersecurity. And more recently, just this year, actually, two of the companies, Spellbook and Trophy AI, raises like millions. Spellbook raises 10 million and Trophy AI is 3 million. So it's a great future for these companies and our province as well, with a lot of hiring and success to come. Success stories to come. More to come for sure. Oh, sorry. So the skills in demand, we have non-technical job. It's not just technical. We have non-technical position as well. We need people that will have skills in sales and marketing, business development, customer success, executive staff, but that also have technical skills. So these are non-technical positions, but it would be great. Like you will be our top priority if you have technical skills as well that you can use for your position in sales and marketing or business development, customer success. And of course, we have also like technical position like data scientists, engineers, software developers, and game developers also. We need some here. And where you can find the job position. So of course you will see them on Indeed, Career Beacon, or LinkedIn, the most common. But we also have a job board. So if you go to our website, www.technl.ca, we have a job board where we post all the job opportunities from our members. Well, most of them, not all of them. It's hard to to have every job offer. But it can give you a good idea for sure of the kind of position that are available right now in our province. And for example, here, this is a snapshot from September 2023. So you can see the kind of position that companies were hiring for. We have IT manager, software developer, but also marketing, designer, product designer, graphic artist. Here in our province, what we offer, this is what we can offer as a province. So the home ownership is still affordable. We have beautiful ocean views. The short commute, so it's very accessible. Like everything is accessible within 15 minutes, which is great. Like we don't have any traffic, and the outdoor is amazing. It's beautiful. It's breathtaking. If you like hiking, we have a lot of hiking trails available around the city, but in the province overall, like in the west coast or in the central region. It's a beautiful province, and we also have a collaborative community. So now I want to show you a video so that you can see what it looks like, the tech sector, but you will also see some of the beautiful views that we have here in our province. So let's watch.
Where does innovation find its spark? Here, it's in the knowledge, skills, and the innate creativity of its people. There's a rare quality to this rocky land at the edge of North America, and it's calling. Inspiring passion, community, and ingenuity in each other. It's the perfect recipe for innovation. Newfoundland and Labrador is in the midst of a technological leap forward. From a spirited past comes an ambitious future, powered by innovation and bright minds. Each discovery fueled by hard work and curiosity. At your fingertips, a sprawling playground awaits, where the forces of nature and creativity collide. In an endless swell of potential, where will you find your spark?
So I hope you liked it, and please feel free to join us in our booth and ask us some questions. And as I mentioned, if you have, maybe I forgot to mention it, but yeah, we are looking for specific skills. Like if you have C# or C++, and if you have skills as a game developer, like please come to talk to us in our booth. We would be happy to talk to you. Yeah, we hope to see you there. Thank you. Megan will be with me, Megan Daubin, and I will be there to talk to you. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. We are about to start our first session. So joining us today is my colleague, Sophia Solomon. She will talk about Newfoundland Labrador's immigration pathways. So I'll hand the microphone over to Sophia. And welcome.
Thank you so much, Usmar. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm just going to share my screen and start off the presentation. Can everyone see my presentation? Just want to check. And is everybody able to hear me clearly? If you can just type in the chat box, and Ismar, if you can give me a thumbs up, that would be great. Perfect. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Sophia Solomon, and I'm welcoming you on behalf of the Newfoundland and Labrador Office of Immigration and Multiculturalism to our webinar, Welcome Home to Newfoundland and Labrador. Our presentation will be followed by a question and answer session where you will have the opportunity to ask us questions about immigration. The only answers we cannot provide are those that specifically relate to applications currently in our office. So a bit of an overview of what we'll be talking about today. We're so happy that you are able to join us and we can share some opportunities with you in our beautiful province. So let's start with some brief information. Where is Newfoundland and Labrador? Who lives here? What to expect when you decide to make our province your new home? We will showcase some of the best parts about living in Newfoundland and Labrador, including our rich history, ever-increasing diversity, what it's actually like to live here, and then follow up with information about immigrating here and focusing on a few in-demand jobs. First up, let's watch this great video.
It's the place you've been searching for. You'll discover the world is universally intelligent. Home inspires you. You'll find source different, source filled with some truth. Really drawn by our future coastlines and show our future for the future.
Hey, Sophia, if could you share your video again with the audio? I think the audio is not coming through.
Okay, let me try that again.
When you click on share screen, it gives you the option of sharing with the audio.
Okay, we'll do that again. Sorry, folks. Can you hear it now? Perfect. So that was a little bit about our province, but we're going to go in deeper now into learning what our province really is all about. So the sun rises here in North America on the most easterly point on the continent. This place is home to the oldest European settlement and one of the oldest cities in North America, but has been a province of Canada for 65 years. We're closer to Europe than Calgary or Vancouver, and having our own time zone is just one example of the off-kilter nature of this place. With 17,000 kilometers of coastline, there are many bays and inlets to explore and plenty of opportunities for open ocean research and development. Our province has the lowest commute times in Canada, with less traffic, meaning more valuable time spent with family and friends. Newfoundland and Labrador, we do have an average summer temperature of 16 degrees, whereas the winter hovers over 0 degrees, with a few periods of snowfall. However, compared to Toronto, which does have an average temperature of minus 20 degrees, we are warmer during the winter. St. John's is the capital city of Newfoundland. Rich and colorful, rugged and defined, it's the creative capital and the beating cultural heart of the province. Woven into our history and tradition is a new wave of art, architecture, music, cuisine, all waiting for you to discover. Newfoundland and Labrador has an area of 405,720 square kilometers. It is more than 3 times the total area of the Maritime provinces, which is Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI together. And we're almost 1 3/4 times the size of Great Britain. So how do you get here? Traveling here by plane is a popular option. Flying time to St. John's is about 1.5 hours from Halifax, 3.5 hours from Toronto, and about 5 hours from London. Newfoundland and Labrador is served by scheduled airlines and charter services and can be reached via national and international connections like Air Canada, WestJet, Porter that fly here daily. Drawn from the Canadian Social Survey, which collects data every 3 months from people 15 and older on health, well-being, the impacts of COVID-19 activities, use of time, and emergency preparedness. The figure shows that 61.7% of people in Newfoundland and Labrador reported a high life satisfaction above the Canadian average of 51.7%. So Newfoundland and Labrador has been known as the happiest province in Canada by Statistics Canada 2022. Life in Newfoundland and Labrador. Newfoundland and Labrador has a reputation of being very friendly. You will definitely hear a lot of people say that about us, which is very true. This is a land of rich history and natural wonders, stunning coastlines, breaching whales, icebergs, and some of the most incredible skyscrapers you'll ever see. With local cuisines and chefs winning national and international awards, it's clear that the culture and food diversity in Newfoundland and Labrador has never been more delicious and is always growing. With the temperate climate, Newfoundland and Labrador is the perfect place to enjoy outdoor activities like hiking, kayaking in the late spring, summer, and fall, as well as sports like snowboarding, skiing, and snowmobiling in the winter. Community and services. Newfoundland and Labrador has the most affordable post-secondary institution, which is the Memorial University of Newfoundland and Labrador. We also have the College of North Atlantic, which is another college which has 17 campuses all across Newfoundland and Labrador. Memorial University has 19,000 students from Newfoundland and Labrador, as well as international students from 115 countries. The Association for New Canadians is a nonprofit, community-based organization delivering settlement and integration services to immigrants and refugees in Newfoundland and Labrador. For more than 40 years, the association has delivered programs and services that support all aspects of immigration integration, ranging from settlement information and orientation to language learning, skills development, and employment. The Association Communication Francophone de St. John's is a nonprofit organization that offers a wide variety of activities and services for all interests and budgets. Most of our activities take place at the Francophone Community Center. It is the Francophone settlement organization currently based in Newfoundland and Labrador. The Newfoundland and Labrador Medical Care Plan, known as MCP, is publicly administered comprehensive plan of medical insurance which was introduced in April 1st of 1969. MCP covers the cost of insured physician services for residents of the province who have met eligibility criteria to register as MCP beneficiaries. MCP beneficiaries are also entitled to coverage of insured medical services received in hospital under the hospital insurance plan. This is, of course, free of cost for all residents in Newfoundland and Labrador. Residents of Newfoundland and Labrador also benefit from up to 12 to 18 months of parental leave for your newborn or newly adopted children at a rate of 55% of your earnings, compared to the United States, which only receives up to 12 weeks of unpaid maternity leave. We also use English and French as language instruction in school and throughout the province. We have the most affordable childcare, which is about $10 a day or $7.48 USD. There are many community groups, cultural organizations, diverse food and religions institutions in the province that is continuously growing. Housing is a big priority for our government as it works to increase availability and affordability. Though we focus here on St. John's, which is our capital, rates across the province are generally much lower as you move to urban and even rural areas, while availability increases. As you can see, the average cost to purchase a home is significantly lower than other cities in Canada. This is something we would like to highlight for you today as Newfoundland and Labrador as a destination of choice for new migrants. As you can see, the average cost of a 2-bedroom apartment is $1,100, whereas a 3-bedroom costs approximately $2,100. Utilities are not often included in the rent, which we will explain a little bit later. And according to Newfoundland and Labrador, as you can see, the average home in St. John's is about $304,000. However, compared to Halifax, which is $529,000 and $1.16 million in Toronto. So we definitely have the most affordable housing. Transportation in St. John's. You can purchase a monthly bus pass for about $78 or a single fare of $2.50. Otherwise, an option for transit is through taxis in the capital city, as well as smaller cities throughout the province. It is usually recommended that you plan to purchase a car, as this will make your navigation through St. John's easier, but we wish to provide some approximate costs for owning a car so you are well prepared. Most newcomers will need to pass their driving test unless from a country that have a driver's license from United States, Germany, Australia, Switzerland, United Kingdom, Republic of Korea, Ukraine, France, Isle of Man Island, Northern Ireland, Japan, and Taiwan. So a driver's license fee costs approximately $125 Canadian. A road test is about $78. Annual car registration is about $90. And a car insurance depends on how much time you've been in Canada. So it does reduce every year once you are driving and start driving in the province and in the country. An approximate amount for used cars is about $10,000 Canadian, and new cars cost approximately $20,000, which of course you can take as a loan and with monthly EMIs. Car insurance from newcomers from countries without a reciprocal agreement is often priced as they are a new driver, but also depends on your insurance broker. So comparing the numbers, we want to give you a good idea of what it would look like if you were living and working here in Newfoundland and Labrador. It is good news that by next month, the minimum wage will be increasing to $15 Canadian. Full-time work is about 35 to 40 hours per week. If you work 40 hours a week for a minimum wage, you will receive $600 every week. Included in your taxes is employment insurance in case you lose your job, Canada Pension Plan, which is a retirement support, income tax, which is support for government services like we talked about, free healthcare, free education during your school, So these deductions will be taken from your paycheck every week or bi-weekly, depending on your employer. So make sure you do your research and compare the salary in your job to the cost of living in Newfoundland and Labrador. Later in our presentation, we will provide some average salaries for in-demand jobs in fields such as healthcare, early childhood education, and IT. We also encourage you to do research between approximate salaries compared to the cost of living in Newfoundland and Labrador. While other provinces may have higher minimum income, this is because they also have a higher cost of living. So we would just want to give you an example to compare the average cost of living in Newfoundland and Labrador with a real life example of what it would look like if you moved to Newfoundland and you got a job, how much you would make, how much you would save, and how much would go in different expenses. So here we have young guy who has a full-time job as an early childhood educator in St. John's with 2 years of experience and her new ECE certificate, which is the Early Childhood Certificate for Newfoundland and Labrador. She will earn a wage of $25 per hour. Along with her spouse, she will expect to pay approximately $1,100 a month on her apartment rental fee, and an additional $400 per month on utilities, which is electricity, internet, cable, etc. Upon arrival to Newfoundland Labrador, young guy's spouse will work as a restaurant manager. As a full-time employee, ECE, young guy will work 37.5 hours per week and earn approximately $937.50 before taxes. Her annual salary of $48,750 means at a tax rate of 14.5%, she will pay $135.95 per week in taxes. As a restaurant manager, young guy's spouse will work 40 hours per week at a minimum rate of $15 per hour and earn approximately $600 before taxes. So if we break that down with a monthly income, you're looking at $3,206 for young guy and $1,564 for young guy's spouse after taxes. So when we say after taxes, that means after all the deductions are taken out, like we mentioned on the previous slide, for employment insurance, for your pension plan, things like that. So this is how much you would get in your pocket. So when we deduct apartment rental of $1,100, utilities, which is electricity bills, internet bills, cable for heat and light, things like that would fall under utilities. Some apartments you will see are advertised as without utilities or pay your own utilities, which means it's not included in the rental fee itself, which is why we've separated it here, because sometimes you will see that. But if you're renting a room, for example, sometimes utilities are included in your rental fee. So it's a good idea to keep an eye out for that when you're looking for apartments to rent. So if you're looking to buy for groceries for 2 people, you're looking at $450 per month, and car insurance of approximately $97 per month for 1 driver. So if we add all of this up and minus it from your monthly income for 2 people, you are saving about $2,723 a month that you get to do anything that you like with, compared to other provinces that have higher rental fees and higher expenses. With Newfoundland Labrador, you get to save a lot of that money. Fees and higher expenses. With Newfoundland Labrador, you get to save a lot of that money. So we're going to go into the immigration programs that we offer here in Newfoundland and Labrador. This is a quick summary of the broad steps to immigrate to Newfoundland and Labrador. First, an employer must have a full-time year-round job vacancy and make an offer to a foreign worker, such as yourself. The employer must also register with the federal government's employer portal and be willing to pay a $230 fee to support a worker's work permit application if needed. Once a worker receives a job offer, they apply for either the Newfoundland and Labrador Provincial Nominee Program or the Atlantic Immigration Program. Criteria for each program differ, which we will review shortly, but our average processing times under both programs is 25 business days for our office. Once approved under the NLPNP for nomination or AIP for endorsement, you can then apply to the federal government for a work permit and permanent residency. Processing times for work permit and permanent residency differ with the federal government and can be found on the federal government's website. With work permit approval and visa approval if necessary, you can travel to Newfoundland and Labrador and begin working while your PR application is still in process. The Office of Immigration and Multiculturalism offers 2 economic immigration programs that facilitate a path to permanent residency for individuals who have full-time, non-seasonal, or job offer from a Newfoundland and Labrador employer or own a business. Both programs offer various streams: the Newfoundland and Labrador Provincial Nominee Program and the Atlantic Immigration Program. The NLPNP has a few categories to choose from, whereas the AIP depends on both a candidate's job offer and work experience. So as you can see under the NLPNP, we have the Express Entry Skilled Worker, International Graduate, International Entrepreneur, and International Graduate Entrepreneur. The Office of Immigration also offers the Newfoundland and Labrador Settlement and Integration Program that is designed to make settlement and integration for new immigrants smooth through support to service providers in the province. The AIP, as you can see, is based on a tier system. It starts from tier 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We will talk a little bit more about this, but you can also find more information on what the tier levels mean on our website. So program eligibility is based on the tier level of your job offer. Firstly, we'll speak about the Newfoundland and Labrador Provincial Nominee Program. The objective is for foreign nationals to obtain a work permit and permanent residency, as well as a pathway for foreign nationals to settle permanently in all regions in Newfoundland and Labrador. It's used to attract entrepreneurs and support entrepreneurs already established in Newfoundland and Labrador, also attract skilled professionals in identified in-demand occupations. Key eligibility looks like candidate must have a full-time, minimum 30 hours weekly, year-round, at least a 2-year job offer. Demonstrate to economically establish in the province, intend to reside in Newfoundland and Labrador permanently, provide valid language results depending on the program that you apply through. Work experience, however, is not required for the skilled worker category, but you do need to meet the NOC or the tier requirements. You also need to meet category-specific eligibility criteria, which you can find on our website under the Newfoundland and Labrador Provincial Nominee Program. Next, we have the Atlantic Immigration Program. The Atlantic Immigration Program has been created to enhance joint coordination between the Atlantic provinces and the federal government. It is designed to help employers in the Atlantic provinces attract skilled workers and international graduates to permanently fill job vacancies. Employers must apply first and wait to have their employer to be approved as a designated employer. Employer engagement in settlement integration is higher than the provincial nominee program. The processing time is likely faster as well than the provincial nominee program. If you're already working in the province, you could qualify to become a permanent resident through this program. There is no labor market impact assessment, sometimes known as an LMIA, that is not required for this program. AIP is an expedited permanent residency pathway and has additional mandatory requirements that both the employer and candidate must meet. So key eligibility criteria: job offer must be full-time again, so minimum 30 hours weekly and for at least 1 year. It must be in a tier 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 occupation. As you can see, tier 5 does not qualify under the Atlantic Immigration Program. Candidate must intend to reside in Newfoundland Labrador. Language testing is mandatory for all candidates, so you could either take an IELTS or a self-up test. If candidate does not have education completed in Canada, an education credential assessment is required for any education completed outside Canada. There is no age limit under the AIP. However, under the PNP, you do need to be between the age of 21 and 59. Next, we will highlight average salaries for in-demand occupations in the province. There are based on 40-hour work weeks. As you begin your job search, we encourage you to create a LinkedIn profile as a tool to help you make local connections and learn about job opportunities. For tech-related jobs, you may also find it useful to connect with TechNL, which is the Industry Association for Information and Community Technology Jobs. TechNL is present with us today during the fair, so feel free to check out their booth and visit their booth if you have any questions. They do also have a presentation following mine later today. Newfoundland and Labrador has one provincial health authority that covers 4 regions of the province called Newfoundland and Labrador Health Services. Each region has differing needs, but in particular, there is a great need for registered nurses and licensed practical nurses across the province. NLHS will have an employer booth set up for you to connect directly with during our fair today as well. And they do also have questions. If you have questions, you can also ask those questions during when you visit their booth. Early childhood educators and assistants have many vacancies in the province. This is a recent grid of the salaries and hourly rates of ECEs based on years of experience. The Newfoundland and Labrador Association for Early Childhood Educators, known as ACE-NL, can provide specific information on your eligibility. Early Childhood Educator Wage Grid, which is from the Department of Education. Newfoundland and Labrador Early Childhood Education Wage Grid is developed to support regulated child care centers in offering accessible and quality childcare by recognizing the valuable contributions of ECEs that make with children of the province. The Early Childhood Education Wage Grid aims to increase retention and recruitment of ECEs and increase interest for current and future ECEs to further their education and ultimately improve quality of care. The base rate for an ECE2 with a 2-year diploma is $25 an hour. This is the starting rate for a new graduate. Educators who continue to further their education and are awarded a higher certification level will be placed at a step 1 of their new level. For example, an ECE1 at step 2 who achieves an ECE2 designation would be placed at step 1 of level 2, which is $25.50. The steps on the grid last 12 months starting January 1st of 2023. ACE-NL also does have a booth today and are present with us today. So if you do have questions, please do visit their booth. They are also providing a presentation later after me, so feel free to attend their presentation for more information. Latest news on immigration. So immigration to the province has increased by 60% since 2017. Newfoundland and Labrador immigration targets were met for the first time last year in 2022, with double the spaces this year in 2023 and some remaining for the remainder of the year. Newfoundland and Labrador adopted a client service-centered approach to all provincial immigration programs. So when you put an application through the AIP or the PNP, you will be programs. So when you put an application through the AIP or the PNP, you will be assigned an officer who will work with you throughout the process and make sure they are holding your hand along the way. To connect with us, you can visit our website for a list of frequently asked questions. If you have any questions that you cannot find the answers on our website about our immigration programs, feel free to send us an email to attraction@gov.nl.ca. We're also present throughout the day. If you have any questions, there will be round tables. So feel free to meet with any of our immigration officers to answer any questions you have either about
All right, folks, we're gonna start doing the Q&A right now. Any specific questions, any specific things regarding our immigration programs, Sophia will be more than happy to answer that, and I'm just gonna bring her to screen.
Thank you so much, George. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to answer as many questions as possible. I do see there's a lot of questions here. All right, so let me have a look. Okay. So I see the first question here is, do I need to have English proficiency test to move on a work visa and would just a diploma? So for the PNP category, you only need to do an English test if your job falls under NOC or tier level 4 and 5. Otherwise, you don't need to do an English test. And you can just provide a copy of your diploma, so you don't need to get the ECA or the education credential assessment done there. Let's see the next question. So there's a question on what are the benefits and conditions the employers are giving to employees on housing policy, health insurance in Newfoundland and Labrador. So as part of working with an employer, they should offer you a health and dental insurance. Depending on the kind of employment, some employers will wait till you finish your probation period till you can sign in or get the employment or get the health insurance. And in terms of housing, so employers may help you in looking for housing, but it is your responsibility to pay for housing, like rent and utilities, like we spoke about, yourself. So that will come out from your paycheck. So that won't be deducted or taken care of by the employer. All right. So there's a question on provide more information about the immigration scheme if I've decided to start my own company and hire myself as a director to begin with. So I'm not sure if folks have visited the presentation on the pathways to immigration in Newfoundland and Labrador. If not, it is on demand, so you can check the video out yourself. There is a PNP stream that's called International for International Entrepreneurs. So you do need to show a lot of investment. I believe it's $200,000 of investment if you're applying from outside the country. But if you are in Canada and if you graduated from college or university in the province, then you don't need to show those investments. But other than that, you know, there are certain other requirements as well. So I would ask that you watch that presentation to get more detailed information about that. So a list of in-demand occupations. Yeah, I can certainly get that for you. I'll put that in the chat box. So this is a list of all the occupations that's currently considered in demand. And that's in the chat box right now. What is the cost of education in Newfoundland? So education from kindergarten to grade 12 is free of cost. So you don't pay for any education in the public system. If you have children who are going to university, then of course you would need to pay for the university, but Memorial University here and even the college, we have the most affordable universities and colleges across Canada. And if you get a scholarship, that would definitely reduce that cost. All right. Let's see, what other questions? Yeah, so we do have temporary foreign workers that work on farms. There is a separate pathway with the federal government called the temporary foreign worker pathway. So our office, we don't deal with that directly. You would need to check out the IRCC website for more information about that.
Sophia, there's an interesting question asked, can I use a sponsor for my initial settlements if I do not have funds needed?
So if they don't have funds to show in their application, can they get money from a sponsor?
Yes.
Okay, so as part of your PR application, you do need to show proof of funds. So those proof of funds cannot be borrowed or lent by anybody. It has to be money that is readily available to you and that can be used by you at any time. So unfortunately, it cannot be sponsored, if that's what you want to call it, but it should be money that you have saved and you have in your account that is not given by somebody else, because if that has been lent or borrowed, that means it needs to be returned back as well. So if we do see funds that have shown up from somewhere, we will have questions and we will be asking you about them. And once it goes to IRCC, they will have questions about that as well. So I would avoid that and try to save as much as possible.
There's a follow-up question on that. How much funds is needed for the settlement on average?
So that's a difficult question to ask. With the AIP, I can give you, I'm not sure if George, if you have a link to the IRCC funds. Okay. So George will put a link there so you can refer to that because the AIP is more of a federal stream, so we have to go by what IRCC says. For the PNP, because it is our pathway, we do have a bit more flexibility there, so we'll be considering your entire situation. So depending on the size of your family, the size of your family, your income for, if you and your spouse are working, how much savings you have, depending on how much debt you have. Do you have any credit cards, any loans, and trying to kind of see how much you would have left. So a good thing that needs to be taken into consideration is the cost of the IRCC fees. George, can you just put a link to the IRCC fees?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you can calculate the cost of the fees for yourself, your spouse, and the number of children you have. So I would definitely have, more than that because we want to see you're able to cover the cost of your IRCC fees, as well as in terms of an emergency. And, if you're coming from outside Canada, then the cost of your flights. So we want to see that you have enough money for all of that. So we will be taking all of those into consideration. The best advice I would give is to show everything that you have, everything possible in country, outside the country, in any other country, any other accounts, bank accounts, investments, anything that you have. If we feel you may need to have more, we will let you know. We will work with you. We won't deny your application just because you don't have enough funds. So our office will definitely work with you a bit more if it's, through the PNP, because it is our pathway. So feel free to, show as much as you can, be as transparent as you can, as honest as you can, because that's really important.
And there was another question which has been brought up by a few folks as do you need a job offer before you qualify for PNP?
Yes. So for both pathways, you do need to have a job offer. So there's a bit more flexibility with the PNP, especially the skilled worker category, because it can be any job in Newfoundland and Labrador. With AIP, it is specific to designated employer. So the employer has to be designated before you can submit an application. And with AIP, you need 1 year work experience, whereas with PNP, you don't need to have work experience under the skilled worker category. So that's really a great stream to apply through. So, yeah.
There's another question which has been brought a couple of times. How do we apply for jobs through the job fair here?
Yeah, so our job fair is about to end in 15 minutes now. But if you were here throughout the fair, if you connected with employers, spoke to them about their job openings or looked at their job websites, you directly apply through their website. Some employers had their jobs posted in the fair, so you could directly apply to the job itself. So, you could still make a note of the employers that are there. So we will be ending soon, but feel free to check that out so that you can do some research on yourself in your own time and directly apply to their website and to the jobs on their websites there. Yeah. Another thing I will add is the job bank, which is the Canada Job Bank. You can tailor the location to Newfoundland and Labrador. And there you can see all the jobs that are available in the province. So you can, again, apply directly to those jobs. Also look at other websites like Career Beacon, Indeed.ca. Those are search engines that people here use very often to find jobs. So that's a good place to look for jobs as well. And yeah, keep connecting with people you may know here, any other employers, and keep attending different job fairs like this. I'm sure something will work out. All right.
Oh, and there has been also a reoccurring question is that if individuals have a family, can they also bring the family with them for a process of eventually getting them a migration through?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you are the main applicant, if you are the person who finds a job here in the province, you can add your spouse and your children on the application. So your spouse does not need to have a job. Only the main applicant needs to. So if you are the main applicant, your spouse and your children will be on the application as well, and they will get PR at the same time you get PR, and you can also apply for a work permit for them at the same time that you apply for yourself. And your children can get a study permit, so they can come on a study permit and go to school here.
And I'll post one more time the contact information for our department, and any email specifically or call phone numbers that's available right there. I will also drop the ANC website, which is the community partner. If you want to look through that, it's also very informative there.
Yeah.
And I can also drop the job bank website just for folks. There we go. This is the link for Job Bank, also available. I guess there's one more question also, Sophia, regarding if you have a job offer, do you still need a proof of funds for settlement?
Yeah, so you still would need to, especially because you're outside the country. So we want to see that, like I said, you're covering your fees, your flights, and will be able to take care of your family, especially if it's a low wage job, or like a job that will not cover all your expenses. But at the same time, in case of an emergency, if you do lose your job, or if you need to find another one, you want to be prepared prepared. So you would still need to show proof of funds. So yeah, make sure you're prepared for that. I just saw a question about postgraduate work permits. So yes, if you hold a postgraduate work permit, you could apply through the NLPNP International Graduate Stream or the AIP as well. And if you're postgraduate holder and if you studied in the province, then you don't need to show work experience for both the streams. If you're an out-of-province student, then for the PNP, you do need to show 1 year work experience in the province. But for the AIP, you should, if you studied in an Atlantic province, you're good. But if not, you may need to show work experience as well. So there's definitely opportunities there if you're already in Canada and have a work permit, a postgraduate work permit.
Right.
Okay.
There's another question regarding spouse. Can someone move the spouse even if not legally married?
So if you're not legally married, we have something called common law here in Canada. So what that means is if you have lived with a partner for a period of at least 1 year, that is considered common law. So if you are claiming common law, you would need to show proof of that, which would be shared lease agreements, shared bank accounts, shared utility bills that have both your names on it. So anything that can prove that you live together, we will need to see that. And there is a form as well. You can just Google it, IRCC common law. So you would need to complete that form in front of a notary republic, claiming that your relationship is authentic. And you could use that for PR as well. Yep. Yeah, so I see a question about dependents. So yes, dependents are only considered, children are considered as dependents only up until the age of 22. So after the age of 22, they would be considered an adult. So they would need to apply through their own application. So they would, again, same as you, need to find a job offer and move through that stream.
There's another recurring question is how one can convert a visitor's visa to the work visa, if that's even possible.
Good question. So yes, if you are in Canada already or in the province already and have a visitor record, it can be converted into a closed work permit. So if you have a job offer from an employer here, they can put in an application for you through the PNP or the AIP. If it's through the PNP, they need to have a JVA or a job vacancy assessment that will allow you to apply for a work permit. So once we approve your nomination, we will give you a letter that's called a work permit referral letter that you will use to then apply for a closed work permit, which is usually for a duration of about 2 years. So that will cover you till your application, your PR application is being processed with IRCC.
There's another question is, if IELTS academic test results are accepted or the person needs to take a general training test?
Yeah. So for if you do need to provide an English language test, which is usually we only accept the IELTS or the CELPIP, and also there's a French one equivalency as well. So we do need you to show that you have either one of those tests, even if your native language is English or if you're an English speaking country, you would still need to provide an English language test if it is required based on the pathway that you choose.
All right.
So yeah, I think our time is up for today. So I do apologize for all those I couldn't answer your question. I think George put our emails in the chat box. So feel free to send us an email. We will try our best to get back to you. But the most important thing is to remember that you first need to have a job offer from an employer in the province. So that's the only way we can move forward. So once you do have the job offer, please do reach out to us and we can assist you and guide you with your PR application. So with that being said, I know it's been a long day, and for those of you who have been with us the entire day, an entire evening, I just want to extend my congratulations and thanks to all of you on behalf of the provincial government of Newfoundland and Labrador for attending our Immigration and Career Fair today and for attending the session. I hope it was helpful, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, folks, for everything. I hope you guys are going to have a lovely evening or lovely morning and have a great day.
Take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
at the early stages, I was a bit worried, so I asked my them from nowhere, but they are doing, how's the weather? It's a bit fake, right? But over time, I realized that's a typical Newfoundland life. That's the culture here. My name is Yao Entreje, as popularly known as Yao. I'm from Ghana, West Africa. And I moved to Newfoundland, St. John's to be specific, 2016, January, to pursue my education. I finished my master's degree and I've been here since working. I came around the time where diversity has started growing in a fast pace, like between 2016 when I got here and I would say 2019. Within that time frame, I saw a lot of immigrants, especially from Africa, coming in. And it's been on that course since. It's been good. Yeah. I'm at Tobe Road Mall 1949 Barbershop, where I am a co-owner. We have another location in the Village Mall. So, as you can see, I'm in my barber chair. Yeah. For the past 2 years, any business owner would attest to this fact that it hasn't been easy. COVID and all the protocols, all the things that you need to do as a business owner to have your business running, it has been a challenge. But within this short time, we've managed to put 4 or 5 barbers in who were not barbers at all. We trained them from the scratch. The barbers we have here, I can count different nationalities. We have a Canadian here, which is Karen. Another one, Hannah. We have Gustavo is from Colombia. Myself from Ghana. Ephraim from Eritrea. Robbie from Eritrea. We have Sean from Vietnam. Amir from Iran. Ali from Iraq. Mani from Italy and India. Joanna was here from Angola. We had a Nigerian here, Gabriel, a Tanzanian, Jamaican. It's been a place where everybody is welcome, even the barbers itself. We have different and diverse cultures here. Working here for me is one of the joyous moments that I keep experiencing day in, day out, because I get a chance to meet a lot of people from different and diverse backgrounds, cultures, and all that. I came